Am I the asshole for going to my daughter's graduation after my son relapsed? My male 51 wife, female 48, and I have 2 children, Jake, male 23, and Jess, female 18. Although they had the same upbringing, Jake sadly surrounding himself with the wrong people during his late teenage years and made some bad life decisions. Since he was around 17, he suffered with substance abuse issues and alcohol dependency. He's been through counselling on more than one occasion, and I've lost count of the amount of times that either my wife or I have had to make personal sacrifices to go and tend to him. He's currently living in a recovery housing program, where we hoped he would see improvements. This has caused understandable issues for Jess. I've missed hockey games and choir performances because I had to go tend to Jake, as has my wife. We try and make it up to her at the time, but I don't think missing important milestones really makes up for it. It's heartbreaking for me personally. Jake has been doing better lately, and he hasn't had any relapses or issues for the past few months. Jess's graduation was the other day, and my wife and I had tickets and couldn't wait. She's off to college, graduating with a great GPA, and we're really proud of her. However, only a couple of hours before the graduation, we received a call from the staff at Jake's housing program, who said that he had a relapse incident and was in a really bad way. My wife was hysterical and immediately started telling me we had to go there and help. I refused. I said that we'd missed enough events in Jess's life, and I wasn't missing her graduation. Although my wife told me how sad she was to miss it, Jake's health and well-being would take priority. I wasn't changing my stance. She got increasingly agitated and said she'd go herself, called a cab and went. I took the car and watched Jess's graduation. It was one of the proudest days of my life, but when I saw Jess at the end, I could tell she was visibly upset that her mum wasn't there. I explained, and you could tell her frustration. My wife made it to our celebratory dinner later, and she apologized, but the mood was sour. The incident with Jake was serious, but not a life-threatening emergency, and he has been admitted into treatment. My wife gave me the cold shoulder later, saying how we should have been on the same page, been there for support, and that I'd been selfish. I disagreed, saying she'd been selfish in this scenario, and she tainted Jess's moment. This went on for a while, and I ended up sleeping on the couch. I still feel I made the right decision, but I know I hurt my wife, and Jake's recovery is obviously of paramount importance as well. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. While I am sympathetic to all 4 of you in your respective positions, I think your wife insisting you both should have gone to your son is terribly unfair to your daughter, and if neither of you had been there, she sounds like she would have been devastated. At least she and your son at least had a parent there. It could be argued your son could have waited if he was with medical staff, TBH. Your wife is a little out of line, Imo. Appreciate the sympathies. That's my personal feeling as well. Obviously Jake is important, but this was one special day for Jess that my wife should have prioritized. Even if she insisted on going, there was no need for 2 of us to go. His relapse was timed to interfere in her celebration. And he got half of what he wanted when your wife ran to him. You both would benefit from Al-Anon. Change is not going to happen until you as parents change how you deal with his issues. I was thinking that as well. OP mentioned missing other ceremonies and performances. The timing is definitely suspect. Not the asshole. Your daughter's high school graduation only happens once. There will be plenty of other opportunities to show your son support. I am a bit confused as to why your wife felt you both needed to see your son urgently. He was at a recovery house and presumably being watched. Why did you 2 need to be there immediately instead of the next day? Not the asshole. I'm assuming Jake knew when his sister's graduation was. His relapse may have been on purpose. As with a lot of users, they take what they want to hell with everyone else. Jess has been on the losing end of this for the last few years. Your wife fell for your son's manipulations once again at your daughter's expense. Too bad your wife can't see she's about to lose Jess because she had to race to Jake, like she had numerous times before, and not spend 1 or 2 damn hours celebrating her for a change. I'm glad you stuck around for your daughter. And yes, unfortunately, my family has had to deal with a family member with a drug issue. I finally had to wipe my hands and walk away. She doesn't want help, and now I no longer want to help her. I concentrate all my efforts on her kids. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.